Hello everybody, Element 12 here, and I'm kinda doing a little bit of a review type thing. Excuse the hamster in the background, who just likes to friggin' run non-stop. I meant to do this in the other room, but my laptop that I have outside literally died on me tonight. And I had to reset everything, and I lost all of my software and everything, which hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, I'm gonna have everything set to stream tonight. But if something happens, I'll put up a little notification on my Twitter page or something. I'll still stream, but it probably won't be Legend of Zelda. It'll probably be something else. But speaking of Legend of Zelda, this video I am going to be doing my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch. I was gonna actually have a Let's Play video today, but due to scheduling issues, I couldn't get it out, and I don't want to say what it is because I am so excited to do it, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. So that should, if everything works out, that video or series will start next Monday, so a week from today, if everything works out. If not, I still have plenty of old footage I'm going to be uploading and plenty of new footage I'm going to be recording. But enough about that. Let's talk about our little buddy, the Nintendo Switch. When I saw the original trailer back in October, I was excited. I was genuinely really excited. I love video games, period, but I've also been a very large fan of Nintendo. I've always played, usually my two go-to consoles currently are the PS4 and 3DS, but Nintendo always has, a soft spot with me, because it's friggin' Nintendo. I can't go wrong. I literally got my Pokemon shirt on me right now. All my favorite franchises, most of my favorite franchises are Nintendo based. So, obviously, I love Nintendo. So I'm like, okay, this looks interesting, because before the trailer came out, when it was just called the INEC, all it basically was like, they told us it was going to be a handheld console and it was going to be a TV console, which at the time, nobody really knew what that meant. They just knew it was going to be something interesting because it's Nintendo, because Nintendo likes to do interesting things. Then we saw the trailer, we finally got a glimpse of what that was, and it looked interesting. I was excited. At the same time, it looked there were parts of it that, looked kind of weird for me, but overall, I was excited. Then we got the announcement there was a presentation happening, we got, there were leaks ahead of time before the presentation. I'm not a leak guy. I don't like to look at leaks. So I typically did my very best to avoid looking at all the different Nintendo Switch leaks. Unless it was confirmed by Nintendo. If it was something that Nintendo said in an interview, I'd typically look at it. Otherwise, I tend to avoid leaks because oh, it runs this, but it doesn't. So, I want to avoid misinformation. So then when we got the presentation to happen, I expected it to be a direct, but no, it was a big presentation thing. I was excited. Okay, I'll judge it by halves. The first half, where they were just talking about the console itself and the initial games coming for it, which was 1-2 Switch and ARMS. That part, I was excited, but also a little concerned. There's a few things right off the bat that excited me. The fact that it was coming in about a month and a half from that point. That's freaking cool. Was it a month and a half? It was almost 2 months. So it was about to come out. That's kind of crazy to be hey, here's our new console. By the way, it's coming out soon. So that's freaking cool. That we're getting a console right away. The fact that this is the first TV console, well, it's a handheld also, but this is the first, Nintendo console that's region free. Because the 3DS and Game Boy, those were region free. But the 3DS and new DS stuff was region locked. And for the most part, all Nintendo consoles were region locked. Except for, older ones GameCube Pass had little workarounds, but none of them were naturally region free. So I was very excited because I love my weird Japanese Weeb games. So if there's a weird Japanese Weeb game that comes out for the Switch, I can get it without worrying about, if they're gonna bring it over or whatever. I love buying my import games, so I love having a console that supports import games. So that's super cool. 1-2 Switch and ARMS looked really cool right away. not like, you know, I need it. But like, it looked pretty cool. And then like, once you switch, I didn't know what to make of it. I was like, and then like, when they're showing the weird stuff, like the HD rumble and like the backwards hand thing, and like, you feel like you're holding glass with ice cubes in it, like weird shit like that. Like, it's a lot of like talk and just like, not a lot like, it's hard, obviously it's hard to show it, that specific feature off on an online live stream. But at the same time, I was like, okay, this is weird. I don't know what to expect for this. This is interesting. But they got into the games. Obviously, they talked about 1-2 switch and arms right away. But then they had like this huge thing where they just talked nothing about games. They showed Splatoon 2, which at that point I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna be getting the Switch at some point. I just don't know how long I'm gonna have to wait for it, because Splatoon 2 didn't have a official release date or anything, so whatever. The moment I knew I had to get the Switch is when they announced Fire Emblem Warriors. I know it's the weirdest thing to be like, yeah, that's the reason I'm buying a Switch, but I love the Warriors franchise. I love all the Musou games. I love those. Hyrule Warriors, my first one I ever played. That made me fall in love with all the other ones, like One Piece, friggin' love it. Samurai Warriors, Dynasty Warriors, friggin' love all those games. They're friggin' fantastic. I haven't played the new Berserk one yet, but I've heard it's pretty good. So like, the second they announced friggin' Fire Emblem Warriors, which Fire Emblem I friggin' love, Musou Warriors franchise, also friggin' love, both together, I needed the Switch. I knew I needed the Switch. If they didn't announce it, I probably wouldn't have gotten the Switch right away. But the fact that they announced it and I knew that this amazing game is going to be coming out this year, I was like, I need it. So the second that stream was over, I ran to Best Buy, or not ran to Best Buy, I ran to the website, pre-ordered the Switch, and lo and behold, here it is. Unfortunately, the rest of it is set up outside, so I can't really show off too much of that. But the console, the TV console aspects, but I can show off, you know, just the console itself, which I have hanging out over here. And I got 2 games for it, which I'll 1-2 Switch and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I'll get into more. I'll get into the games later. First, I'm gonna give my general overall impressions just about the system itself. Like the portable mode, it feels good. Like it honestly feels pretty good. Like one of my biggest concerns was like these little Joy-Cons, which that's the cool thing about the Switch is at any point you can just grab it. I'm gonna put you over there, and those are your controllers, like right here. And just you can play games just like this. You can lean back, just kind of use these as your controllers, and then you can either have the screen like propped up. It has a little kickstand. If I can get it out, this kickstand's kind of weird. Everyone kind of made fun of. There we go, little kickstand right there. Everyone made fun of CNET for like, oh, the stand is awful, but like it's actually not that good. Like it's not as bad as they made it out to be, but it's pretty bad. So then you can have it either propped up like that, where you can just play it off of the screen if you're like, you know, on the go or at work or airport, whatever. Or, you know, you slide it into the little cradle that it comes in that plugs into the TV and just play on the TV. We can either do it like this with 2 things. You can either use each one as an individual controller for like multiplayer games, or you could plug it into this little like controller that comes with it, the one that I'll put on the screen, the pictures that everyone thinks looks like a puppy dog. But overall, my biggest concern when I first saw it was I thought these were going to be way too small and awkward to play with. Using it two-handed, it actually feels great. Like, honestly, it feels really good. Like, it's super chill. Again, you can lean back, just kind of play. You can have your arms on each side. You don't have to be holding a controller like that. It's super chill. I like it. When you do like multiplayer games and use each one just as an individual controller, it actually, again, it's a little bit weird that like one of these is kind of in the middle and one of these is on the right. I know why they did it. They did it because it's it's supposed to be like a controller. Like, I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. It's supposed to be like played like this first, and then second played like individual controllers. So I get why it's designed like that, but it's a little awkward to get a hold of. But size-wise, it feels great. Like, honestly, my concern is I have big hands. I'm a big-handed dude, so I was worried like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to play games like this is because I have giant hands. But after thinking about it for a while, it's Nintendo. A lot of people hate it. I loved the Game Boy Micro. Like, it was at the very end of the Game Boy Advance's lifespan. It didn't play old Game Boy Color games, but I fucking loved my Game Boy Micro. I carried it with me. It was almost always in my bag at college, with either a copy of Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy VI, or Fire Emblem, usually just hanging around my bag. I just freaking loved it. So I was like, okay, Nintendo's done small things that are surprisingly comfortable. And, like, honestly, the Game Boy Micro is actually a little smaller, like less, like this is a little bit more wide in your hands, so it actually feels pretty good. And also, it was in the other room. It comes with these little plastic things that you put at the end of them to like, because each one has like an L and R button, so it makes the L and R button kind of sticks out more. I feel like they're kind of not good. There's a concern a lot of people said when I first got the game that like, oh, they broke their controllers day one because of these little black things that go on the ends of them, with the wrist straps. I think they're called Joy-Con straps. And yes, when I put them on for the first time, I almost broke it. I almost broke one of them. But it's like, it's really awkward. It doesn't feel like it wants to go on its own. Like, it feels very cheap. Like it's gonna like break at any moment when you're trying to put it on or take it off. Once it's on, it feels just fine. I only recommend it for games like 1-2 Switch where you'll need the strap and you're moving around stuff. Otherwise, I really say don't use it because it's not really that necessary. But listen, I don't like that too much. That's the one thing I wasn't a huge fan of. The controller, the little puppy dog controller that you slide the Joy-Cons in that you use as your like TV controller, it feels awkward. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the way it feels. Like, there's probably gonna be a third-party one that's gonna come out later, or there's probably third-party ones already out that probably feel a lot more naturally like a controller. There is a Pro controller which I didn't get because I didn't think about pre-ordering it because I feared I didn't need it right away. But then I was like, oh, I want to get it, and then I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked everywhere online, everywhere in store, just couldn't find it. So I don't have a Pro controller yet. I want to get one soon. So I can't say my opinion about the Pro controller. I just have the base console, 2 games, and all the Zelda amiibo because I'm an amiibo freak. I still am. I'll admit it. So the little puppy dog controller feels a little awkward. I'm not a huge fan of it. I will say one thing I absolutely love about the console is the way the base is. I'll put like a picture on the screen. The base that actually I might not. I'm probably gonna forget. the black base that you slide the controller into when or the actual Switch screen into to plug it into the TV and play on the TV. All the wires, it has like a back shell that all the wires go through, and it like, so it doesn't stick out awkwardly in the back. It kind of comes out the side, and I really like that. I've never seen a single thing do that, and I absolutely love it for it. What I don't love for it is a few issues, similar issues with like the Wii U and the 3DS. The battery life is not great. I've been playing a lot of Zelda Breath of the Wild just kind of casually on this screen, like, you know, while I'm doing work on the computer or whatever, or watching, you know, TV. And it doesn't stay on very well. Like, the battery life is not super great. I might need to adjust some settings so I get a little more out of it, but I'm kind of doing it on like medium to low brightness, but it still doesn't get a whole lot of battery life. It's not horrible. I would say it's better than the Wii U. The Wii U was awful when it came to battery life, but not as good as the 3DS, which the 3DS is still not super great, but I would say it's better than the Switch at holding a charge, but not as good. Wait, no. 3DS, better than the Switch, but the Switch is better than the Wii U when it comes to holding a charge. A few general other concerns. A lot of friends who've also bought the Switch day one told me that the dock that you slide it into had been reported to like scratch the screens. So like, I don't have screen protectors, so I didn't buy screen protectors because I didn't think I needed them. I never heard about those concerns until like literally like yesterday. So like, they're like, oh, you should get screen protectors. Take it in and out a lot, it's gonna scratch up the screen. Which I haven't done. I wouldn't say a lot. I've done it quite a few times. Obviously, it's only been out for what, like 3 days after this video's come out. So I've done it like a whole lot. But I'm gonna get screen protectors, so I don't know if that's an issue yet. But I'm gonna buy screen protectors just to make sure it's not an issue. They've also mentioned issues about the Joy-Con when just using it on their own desyncing. I never had that issue because they said there's a day one update that fixed that issue, but some people in small groups were still reporting that issue. I never encountered that issue. Running wise, and like system wise, everything runs just fine, and I love it. I will say the launch is not super great. It could use like something else. Like I'm gonna talk about the games later, but I guess this is gonna slowly gonna talk about the games. But overall, I think the launch was all right. I feel like it could have been mentioned more, because I know online I see a lot of advertisements for it, but like my folks who don't watch a lot of like tech stuff, who just watch like basic cable and shit, they said they haven't seen a single commercial for the Switch. So like I don't know, they might want to get on doing commercials more. Also, the fact that the lineup is like really scarce. Some of the games are really good, but overall, I guess they're trying to go for quality over quantity, which is all good. But I feel like there could be like one or two more like really like games. Like Mario Kart is coming out like April 28th, I think, or something like kind of like late April, which is like almost 2 months away. If they managed to like get it out now, I think it would have been perfect. Like I think this launch would have been like the best launch we could have hoped for. But like for whatever reason, now it got super delayed. Which I'm excited for that game. I'm almost excited for the Puyo Tetris, which was really cool. But anyway, let's talk about games. I got 2 games. 1-2 Switch, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, like I mentioned. 1-2 Switch. The problem with 1-2 Switch is it's 2 players only. Actually, there's 2 problems with the Switch. With 1-2 Switch. The first problem is that it's 2 players only. So I can't, unless I want to look awkward doing this. There's not a whole lot of way for me to test specific things. The other problem is it really should have been a pack-in game. Like, the one thing, there's a lot of mistakes happened with the Wii U. One of the things that made the Wii U launch really good is that if you bought the deluxe system that had like more memory and stuff, it came with a free copy of Nintendo Land. So like, and Nintendo Land was fucking fun. Like, hell, like years after the Wii U came out, me and friends were still playing Nintendo Land. And it was pretty much until Smash Bros. Came out, we almost consistently played Nintendo Land. It was a freaking fantastic game, and the fact that they packed it in free made it better. Would I have paid for that game? Maybe. If it was not like a full price game, I probably would have paid for it. I don't know, but the fact that it came and packed in was really good. 1-2 Switch is a discounted game. I believe it was $50 as opposed to the average game, which is $60. But it really feels like a game that should have been like installed on the systems at launch or something, because it doesn't feel like a full game. It feels just like a random weird party game or something. Which again, the problem is you can only play it with 2 players, so it's not like a full party game. So like with Nintendo Land, like you've had a group of like 4 or 5 people. Actually, it worked 5. Yeah, I think it worked that way. If I had a big group of people, we could all play Nintendo Land. For 1-2 Switch, if I have like one friend over, which 9 times out of 10 I have just one other friend over as opposed to like a huge group of friends over. It works for just you hang with a friend of yours. But if you have like a party, unless you're like taking turns, it's not going to be super interesting. I'm going to see. I haven't had any parties. It's been awkward, work related and rainy since the Switch came out, so everyone's been super busy, myself included. I did get my dad to play 1-2 Switch with me, which is super cool because my dad's like a super old school gamer. Like he only pretty much plays like Atari. He still pops with Atari every so often. Heck, I'll go shopping with video game stuff with him, and he'll be like looking at the really old like Atari stuff, and it's super cool. The last game I got him to actually play with me was You Don't Know Jack, the game show game before the Jackbox came out. But anyway, I got him to play 1-2 Switch with me, so I was able to play some of the games with him, and the whole HD Rumble, like you feel like you're holding a glass full of ice cubes, like, it worked all right. Like I didn't like. it was weird. Like, it was a very weird experience to get used to. I like how there's like full instructional videos in front of each one because it needed full videos in front of each one just to, you know, explain everything, just because of how weird it was. But some of the games were really good. Some of them were kind of eh. We played. It started you off. I think it always starts you off with the Wild Gunman game, the gun drawing game. That one I think we might have had the most fun with. That one's super cool. There's a samurai one where like one person swings down the sword, one person catches the sword. That one was alright. The only thing that was awkward is holding the controller and clapping. Like, even my dad said he felt like he was gonna like break the controller if he tried to like get into it too hard. Which I see that as a genuine issue for people who like get into the games. We also played a table tennis game, which they're like, oh, it didn't really feel like anything. Like, it had a vibration that with like a sound effect that kind of made it kind of felt like you're, you know, hitting a tennis ball. So I guess HD Rumble does work to an extent, but it's just kind of like you're basically playing imaginary tennis. Like, that's the problem with the game, is it's basically like you're essentially playing imaginary games, which is neat to an extent. If it was something that was fleshed out more, had more games on it, had like a bunch of different modes on it, and was, again, either gradually discounted or like a free pack-in game, that'd be one thing. Like, there should have been like the Switch and Switch Deluxe, like they did with the Wii U, like regular Wii U, a regular Switch, Switch Deluxe. Switch Deluxe has more system memory and has like 1-2 Switch built onto it. Like, that would have been super cool. But just the way it was, I feel like it wasn't worth $50. Like, $30, I feel like is the most I'd pay for that. But, you know, I might do stuff for the channel later. It might be interesting. It'd be really hard to try to figure that out. But I think the other issue is the space I have, because the room where my games are, I don't have like a huge space. So like that might be awkward. I guess the nice thing about the Switch is, again, you can take it anywhere, have it like set up in like a big room, so you don't have to like unplug everything, move it to another TV. If you have a big room that doesn't have a TV in it, you can just do that. Which I haven't tried it yet. I'm not gonna try it. That'll be super cool. I might have like a my thoughts part 2 video where I test a lot of like these things. And anything in the comments below, let me know if I either overlooked something or didn't mention something. I'll mention in a part 2 video. Also, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not fucking licking any cartridges, okay? Everyone's like, oh, look, they have the most bitter substance known to man on the cartridges. Look, everyone's licking it online. I'm not fucking licking it. I know, okay. Me and my friends love tasting weird shit. Like, that's just a thing that we do as a hobby. We'll try to find the weirdest shit, and we'll try it. This is like a thing we like to do. But those things are edible. Like, when we drink fucking like mayonnaise soda, it's disgusting as shit. But it's a soda, so you know it's supposed to be ingested. A fucking cartridge for a video game console is not supposed to be put in your mouth. Therefore, I'm not putting it in my mouth. And because of that, I'm not going to buy any used Switch games ever. Just period. Never going to buy one. I don't even care. Like, maybe a year, like, past, like, March 2018, maybe I might buy a used Switch game. But otherwise, I'm buying every single Switch game new. Which maybe that was Nintendo's marketing tactic. Who knows? But I don't want to chance the fact that my cartridge could have been licked by some random dude on the internet. Or just random dude, period. So no, it's not fucking happening. I'm not licking anything. I'm not buying any used Switch console, used Switch cartridges, nothing. But again, anything aside from licking cartridges, let me know if I should test it out or my thoughts on a particular aspect of the Switch, and I'll bring up for a part 2 video if there's enough to bring up. Otherwise, I'll probably just go on Twitter and be like, hey, it works. Yay. Breath of the Wild, the other game I got, the new Legend of Zelda game. I have to say, I mentioned quality over quantity. They want to try to get better games out instead of just a bunch of games. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild straight up is a reason to buy the Switch. Like, a lot of people thought like they bought the Wii U because they knew, like, oh, new Zelda's gonna be on Wii U. Well, more for Smash Bros. But oh, new Zelda, new Mario, all sorts of stuff like that. Which it is on the Wii U, which I will say I feel like is a horrible fucking mistake for Nintendo to have made. Hey, here's a new console. Here's the seller for this console, and you're also getting it for the backward console. To be fair, Twilight Princess did that, and the Wii fucking sold like hotcakes still. But I don't know. Going from Wii U to Switch, I don't know how well it's gonna work for them in this instance. But you know, we'll see. But the Switch and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that game is a reason to buy a Switch. Like, I've been kind of off and on with Legend of Zelda. Like, Ocarina of Time, like, after I played the original back in the day. I haven't played a lot of them since then. I never got into, a lot of people love Link to the Past. I can never get into Link to the Past, for whatever reason. I might try again, but I just couldn't get into it. Ocarina of Time, freaking loved it. Majora's Mask, eh. I love the fucking Seasons and Ages games, the ones for the Game Boy Color. Those were fantastic. Minish Cap was cool. Skip Wind Waker. Wind Waker is one of my favorite games, period. Like, if not just one of my favorite Zelda games, it's one of my favorite games ever. Like, I love Wind Waker. Twilight Princess, I can never get into. I literally have 3 versions. I have the GameCube, I have the Wii version. I bought the GameCube version later. And then I bought the HD edition for the Wii, for Wii U with the Wolf Link amiibo. And I still haven't freaking played and beat that game. So I have 3 different versions of the game. Still haven't actually beat it yet. One of these days I'm probably going to beat it. Hopefully. So that game I can never get into all the way. I'm going to try it on the Wii U later and see if I get into it. But I was like, kind of off and on. There's another Zelda game I'm missing that I just can't remember. Skyward Sword, again, way less than friggin' Twilight Princess. I couldn't get into that one. And then the Triforce Heroes was pretty cool. The Link Between Worlds was pretty cool. I couldn't get into Link to the Past, but Link Between Worlds was pretty freaking cool. And Hyrule Warriors, I fucking loved. A lot of Zelda fans hated that game, but like I didn't hate it because I knew what it was gonna be. Like, I think they played it expecting, like, a Zelda. Like, oh, it's going to be Legend of Zelda. It's going to be a Legend of Zelda game with lots of fighting. No, it's not. It's basically a Muso game. So, if you don't like Musos, you're not going to like it. Never played a Muso before Legend of Zelda or for Triforce Heroes. I played it, and I loved it, and I'm like, damn, there's more of these. I should get more of these. So that got me into that franchise, but I already mentioned that earlier in the video. So that was like the last Zelda game I really liked. So I'm like, okay, Breath of the Wild, I could be pretty excited for this. I've seen when it came out, I was again excited, but I kept it on the down low, like, because I feel like, you know, I got excited for Skyward Sword when that came out. Then when it came out, wasn't a huge fan of it, you know, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, this looks cool, but I'm also gonna, you know, keep expectations kind of middle to low. Like, it looks cool. But I'm gonna play it, and I played it, and oh my goodness, I love it! Like, open world games, I've never had this much fun with an open world game since Red Dead Redemption. I would play Red Dead Redemption for hours, just, you know, skinning animals and doing random shit out in the wilderness. This is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is like that times 10, like, not even joking. I played it on the live stream, which I'm going to be playing it more tonight, if everything works out fine with my laptop. I played it on Friday during my live stream. You can still watch, you know, past broadcasts on my Twitch channel, which, you know, link down below. And again, I fell in love with it as soon as I started playing on. I waited till the stream, which I was like, oh, I can't wait for the stream, which is why I started that stream earlier that night. I just loved it. Everything you do in it, like, even after the stream was over, like, I just wanted to keep playing. And I didn't want to do story progression, which was fine because, holy shit, there's so much you can do in this game without even once progressing the story. I mean, I got into the story I progressed the story a little bit. It's a little tiny bit, like less than 1% of the story I went through. But then I was just exploring the world. The world's just so fucking huge, and there's so much to do. You can fight moblins and freaking climb and get materials and cooking. I spent hours just cooking in that game. Like, not even joking. I freaking love it. And if you want a reason to get the Switch, that's a reason to get the Switch. Otherwise, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey, for me, Fire Emblem Warriors. But overall, I love the Switch. I recommend it. I definitely recommend it. I would say if you know, if you want to play Legend of Zelda. Oh, my computer just fell asleep. Hopefully that doesn't fuck up the recording. Ah, okay. Recording's still going. Okay. If you want Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and you want to play it now, get the Switch. I don't know about the Wii U version. I haven't tried the Wii U version, but just get the Switch for that because it's a beautiful game. It looks amazing on the Switch. I don't know about the Wii U, but just get it for get Switch for Breath of the Wild. If you want to wait for games, obviously those games come out later. Mario Kart comes out April. ARMS and Splatoon 2 come out like spring, summer. I believe Super Mario Odyssey is fall, winter. Fire Emblem Warriors is winter. Or I think that was fall. I think it's September. Which is, I think, the same time when Hyrule Warriors came out, I think. But yeah, there's lots of games coming out for it. My overall, I don't know if I want to give it a rating. Just I would say I highly recommend it. If I gave it a rating overall, just Legend of Zelda, I give 10 out of 10, flat out. 1-2 Switch, 5 out of 10. Console overall experience with the console, give it an 8 out of 10. I feel like there's things that can be improved on with the console's overall design and everything. And the fact that, I didn't mention the fact there's no like apps for it yet. Like, it's very scarce. Like, there's no Hulu, no Netflix, no YouTube. All those would make it amazing. That's not out for it yet. So right now, I would give it about an 8. Once those things start coming out, I'd probably give it, a 10, no doubt. But as of right now, just what's available, game-wise and everything-wise, I give it about an 8 out of 10. But again, I highly recommend it. If you want to play the Breath of the Wild, get it. If you want, Splatoon 2 and all those coming out later, and you want to get it now, go get it. I've seen my local GameStop, and I've seen like a few other places that actually have them in stores. So if you see them in store and you want to get it, go friggin' get it. So until next time, this is Element 12 signing off, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.